Hello, my name is Tina Elizabeth Mary Donnie with NIM number 23019268882 in Introduction to International Trade and Business class with lecturer Roseno Aji Afandi. As of right now, one of the most important agents in international trade and business is multinational corporation or MNCs. MNCs can be formed when a company in a certain country or home country is recognized by another state, which this is called host country, in which this makes them develop and make their company all over the world. In addition, one of the reasons a company turns itself into a MNC is because they can do well in their own turf, so they will seek to establish it in other countries, mainly in semi-periphery and periphery. And the reasons are: first, protecting the company; second, earning more capital because of the low tariffs; and third, low cost of labors. Other than that, MNC also involve foreign direct investment. Here, owners have the ability in managing and controlling the flow of capital across national borders of their company in several different countries while just being in their home country. Thus, MNC itself has several advantages, such as their technology, capitals, and solid organization that is more effective than a country government. Moreover, political influence that MNCs employ may differ from issue to issue and country to country. Direct influence through lobbying, indirect influence as an instrument of the state, and unintentional influence via their agenda-setting power. In addition to direct lobbying, firms can leverage informal ties to political leaders that enable them to provide information and persuasion. Governments have used MNCs to further the national interest by strengthening the effect of sanctions through MNCs. To explain the relationship between state and market, in this picture, it is explained that there is an involvement of security, wealth, justice, freedom, market, and authority, which is the state. In the first column, the security takes the biggest portion to achieve wealth, but justice and freedom to choose is small, which makes the state higher than the market, which this is adopted by communist countries. In the second column, state and market are equal, if justice and freedom have the largest portion to achieve well-being. This wealth is mainly the welfare of the society, and also, the security of the state will be safe because there is a balance. Lastly, when wealth is prioritized, they assume that security, freedom, and justice can be achieved, where this is done by a liberal state, in which the market is higher than the state, thus being a capitalist. To determine their connections, there are several factors that support it. One is its power military structure, in where they need this in order to protect oneself and others. Second is power production, in which there will be hegemony or becoming a peripheral of another country, such as Indonesia being the periphery and Japan as the core. Third is financial structure. This is when a state is considered to be another state's dominance, if that state makes a loan or has a loan from another country. Here, it makes the creditor have more power than the state, who asks for it. Through this, we can see how powerful a credit is as a tool in investment or even loan. The fourth and the last is the structure of knowledge. A state will be dominated by another state if that state doesn't really have a good education or their education is behind. However, in 2020, with the COVID-19 outbreak, WTO expected that the GDP of the world will fall by 2% below the baseline, of developing countries by 2.5%, and of industrial countries by 1.8%. Also, it is expected that the world trade will fall between 13% and 32%, which is believed by the WTO economists that the decline will likely be worse than the global financial crisis of 2008. There are several reasons why the WTO expected this. First, there is a drop in employment by 3%. With low labor's demand, the wages will rise, capitals will be harder to gain, and lastly, ceteris paribus will occur. Second, international trade cost of import and export raises by 25% due to reduced hours of operation, road closures, border closures, and increase in transport costs. Third, a drop in international tourism that is shown with a consumption tax of 50%, namely transport and accommodation. For examples, airline companies are expected to lose $113 billion in revenues for 2020. In the peak of the outbreak, 70% of scheduled flights to China have been cancelled. Due to the fear of economy declining, countries are slowly opening public places such as malls and restaurants and implicating the herd immunity.